All right, settle down, folks. The Reamer's got the mic now. You want to hear this one from my perspective, huh? Fine by me. I've seen things in these rubber suits. Heard things from these pen pals of mine that'd make your hair stand on end. And this story, about Father Michael and Silas, well, it's one of the uglier ones. The priest in the prey I saw Father Michael come into West State, fresh out of the seminary, all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. He looked like butter wouldn't melt in his mouth, but I've seen enough of the world to know that the smoothest ones often have the sharpest edges. He had this way of looking at the inmates, not with pity, but with a kind of calculating interest, a predator. I knew it from the moment I saw him watching the yard. He wasn't looking for lost souls, he was looking for easy marks. Then there was Silas, quiet fella, kept to himself, hardened by life, scarred inside and out. He was the kind of man who'd learned to put up walls so high, you'd think nothing could get through. But Michael, he had a special kind of drill for those walls. He'd glide around offering Bibles, whispering soft words, and you could see it in his eyes, that hunger. He was sizing them up, testing their weaknesses. He saw Silas all alone and he knew he had found his next target. The hook. Michael started with the usual priesty stuff, offering counsel, sitting in the back of the chapel with his little Bible. But he was always watching Silas, always. Then he started with the small favors, a little word to a guard, a book from the outside. Nothing big, just enough to make a man feel like he owed something, like he was special. And Michael, he was good at making men feel special. He'd talk about a spiritual connection, twisting the Lord's words into something vile. He was reeling Silas in, slow and steady, like a fisherman with a big catch. I saw it happen in the chaplain's office. Michael would be in there with Silas, the door barely ajar. I'd hear the priest's low voice like honeyed poison, and I'd see Silas come out later looking different, like he was caught in something he couldn't quite understand, but couldn't break free from either. He was hungry for human contact like most men stuck inside for years. And Michael, that serpent, he knew just how to exploit that hunger. He'd put his hand on Silas's arm, a touch that lingered too long, a touch that wasn't about comfort. It was about possession, the end of the line. It all came to a head one night in the chapel. I heard the commotion, not loud, but enough to grab my attention. Silas was a desperate man, and he'd finally seen Michael for what he was. All those years of being alone, of being preyed upon by the world, it all boiled over. I didn't see the exact moment, but I heard the thud. A heavy thud, like something solid hitting something soft. And then the silence, a cold, heavy silence. When the guards got there, Father Michael was on the floor, a candlestick beside him, a dark stain spreading on the stone. His eyes were wide open, staring at nothing. The predator had finally met his match, or maybe, just maybe, he'd pushed his prey too far. Silas? Well, he just stood there, breathing heavy, no tears, no shouts. Just a grim look on his face, like he'd finally finished a job he never wanted to start. He knew what was coming next, another deeper hole in the system. But I reckon, for that brief moment standing over Michael, he felt a twisted kind of freedom. So that's the story. Not a pretty one, not one for the Sunday school books. But it's the truth as I saw it. What do you think about that kind of redemption, huh?